Tanse, Abuashtet, everyone. Welcome to part 3 and the final part of a Powwow 101 collaboration between me, Sissy Thiessen Kootenayoo of Wakse Saba Experiences, link down low in the description, and between myself and Yellowhead Institute. Link also down in the description. So I had smudged off camera. Today I'm actually using some. I'm just letting it burn out, and I'm just using some buffalo sage that I was gifted. So you can kind of see, as I mentioned in the previous video, that it's budding or seeding and doing that lovely carry on the cycle of life or reproducing. So technically this is a life giver plant, and because I'm trying to share some teachings today around women's powwow dance, I thought it'd be appropriate to use this buffalo sage I was gifted by a really strong, beautiful squayo here in Edmonton. So while I'm letting that burn out, I just wanted to go over a little bit more regalia. So you'll see today I'm wearing a lot of different new things I haven't been wearing in the last 2 videos. I was wondering if I should wear the same thing for consistency, but I like to show as much as I can. So you'll see up here I've got my plume. This is an imitation plume. I'm wearing it to the side because I do old style. I do old style, jingle and fancy shawl. And usually it is a little bit straighter, but I was having a bit of problems with it today. I've got some pins here. And this is some beadwork that I made myself. If you did want to check out my artist and creator Instagram, it is Wakse Saba Creations. So I have this white here, as well as what I showed previously on my moccasins that I've also made. We got the white, we got the red, we got the yellow, and the reason why I did white and red, because again, there's reasons why there's a pattern on our regalia, or we're dancing a certain style, or everything has a story and everything has a meaning. And for me, so I am mixed Dakota Sioux or Stoney, Cree, and German Mennonite. So the white represents that European side of me, and then this red represents the First Nations side of me, and both are really important to me. And I'm rocking my otter furs once again. So some dancers, when I stand up, you kind of see that they don't go super far on me. Number 1, because I'm really tall. Number 2, because I wear mine really high up. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I don't have a whole lot of hair, so my braids are really small, so I like to put them way up high, and that's what works for me, because then my hair ties are going to stay, or my flower hair ties are going to stay onto my my otter furs. Some people will use weasel, mink, a bunch of different animal furs. This is a faux bone choker I got at Drift Pile Powwow last summer, 2019. That is up in northern Alberta in Canada here. So if you have a chance to go to that community, visit their powwow. Super gracious, beautiful place. And these are some dentilium shell earrings that were made for me by a former youth. I used to do some leadership programming for young Indigenous women, and a youth had made this for my 30th birthday. These are very long. I believe I have about 6 rows here, and you'll see some traditional dancers, typically traditional and jingle, because they're a little bit too long and heavy for fancy dancing, but you can see them going longer than this, being earrings or being hair ties or being chokers, these dentilium shells, really beautiful. And I'm also rocking this awesome shirt made by Stardust People Designs. There's a Cree word here that I don't exactly know how to say properly, so I won't, but it means the lost ones, and this is a red shirt in honor of missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so Stardust People's Designs, I will leave their links down in the description as well. I always like to support local Indigenous artists, creators, teachers, things like that. So check them out. And what I've done here is I've left this hair tie with a string out. So this is actually piece of hide here. So I'll use, if you go into a craft store, you can find something called thonging, and it's this. It's really thin. It breaks easily. It's what I've got on here. It's what I'm using to keep my headband tied. But a little bit thicker is to cut strips from hide, and that's what this is. And I've got it. That's what's wrapped around my otter ties here. It goes all the way down, and that's what's securing these on. And what I've done is I've left this long piece because I want to connect these two together. Because if I dance, they separate. I've been dancing and I've had one go behind me, and I've had one fall off before. Well, the first time I hit the dance floor. So what I do is I kind of keep it close-ish together. I got about an inch and a half there. And I'm just going to simply wrap this around this hair tie here. Because I'm not going to be dancing really crazy today. We're just going to do some really basic stuff. Today is, I want to show you a bit of footwork. And at the end of this, I'm really hoping to ask some general knowledge questions from everybody, and I'm hoping to hear from people in the comment section. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a review of some pieces of regalia, and I wanted to dress up a little bit for you today. I put on some lipstick. So I'm just going to adjust my camera here and keep this all the same direction. Get this out of the way. My apologies in advance if you end up seeing my kitty cat will make a guest appearance here. I've got a yoga mat on the floor just because I haven't been dancing for a little while, and it's easier on the knees. You'll also notice my really fancy knee brace here. I had someone who isn't a dancer say to me one time, you know, if it hurts, you shouldn't do it. And I know that's not true. I know that there's tons of powwow dancers who have been in car accidents like myself, who have sports injuries, who just have things that they're living with and dealing with. And just going to do a little bit of stretching here. So I know that there's other dancers who are dealing with different abilities and different hindrances, and do it anyways because we're doing it for prayers, for healing. And I truly believe that this helps me heal in all the senses, in the physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental. I believe powwow dance is really great medicine. And since it is a prayer, I think that it's super important to keep doing it. So I wear my knee brace. Just like you'll see some athletes. I do also believe that powwow dancing, especially in competition, takes a lot of endurance and athleticism, and it becomes a competition with points, just like sports. So, you know, athletes wear braces to help them perform, and so do I, and lots of other dancers. And I almost let that stop me. I almost let some accidents and injuries slow me down, but I'm really glad I decided to keep going. Oh, yeah, so I'm just going to do a little bit more stretching. So when I go and I teach in the elementary schools, I got to keep it pretty basic and pretty quick, but see what we can do here. So start, sorry this isn't full length, but reaching all the way up, go on your tiptoes. A lot of what we do as female dancers requires us to be on our toes. We're going to lean backwards, just like in yoga. Do a little bit of a back bend, and then fold forwards. Put your heels flat on the ground. This is sounding like a Nietzsche yoga class. So my otters are touching the ground. I did smudge them before. I will smudge them after. If you can touch the ground, great. If you can't, go as far as you can. What I like to do here, because a lot of our dancing does compact some vertebrae in the spine, is to bend the knees. So bend the knees a little or a lot. I like to bend mine a lot. I'm going to hang onto my elbows, slump over here. I'm going to go to the right. A chiropractor showed me this one. And I've got neck and back injuries, so it's important for me to take care of myself like this. So I'll go to the left and do a little twist, keeping my knees bent. You can kind of sit yourself further into a squat, or like you're sitting in a chair. That really helps. And then I'm going to go to the right. Oh my God, I could do this all day. to the middle. We're going to do one more on each side. So just like when we dance, it's balance. You do something on one side, you got to do it on the other. So I'm going to hold this for 4 counts because in a lot of our ceremonies and the way we do things, the way the venison wheel is split into 4, so 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, middle. Oh, yeah. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking those hands, using your fingertips or going flat on the hands, straightening those legs. I just like to do a little bit of rock on the heels here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now I'm going to do a life-saving, calf-saving stretch. This is my favorite ones. My favorite one, my students, my kids will always go, say, what's Miss Sissy's favorite stretch? And they all know it's this one. Because I started as a jingle just dancer. So what I do is I'm bending my left foot here, my left knee, keeping my foot flat on the ground, putting my right toe up to the ceiling, and then pushing into my thigh. And then I like to windshield wiper it right to left, right to left. So we'll do 2 more. 1, 2. I'm really pushing, leaning into that because first time I did side step, which I'll show you today, first time I did the side step, I tore my calf muscle so bad I couldn't even walk upstairs or use the washer, which was a big problem. I live in a 3-story walk-up, so that was not good. And this stretch has helped me so much. So we're taking that left toe, pointing it up to the ceiling, to the sky, creator, doing windshield wipers. 2 more. 1, 2. Oh, awesome. And then let's warm up our ankles. Something else, I've rolled my ankle dancing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other direction, just like when we're dancing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll warn you, something you have to be careful of. Gopher holes, gophers, moles, whatever little vermin you have in your area, love to make really big holes and burrows. Powwow arbors. Learn that the hard way as well. Let's go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. And I want to make sure my moccasins are nice and tied up, nice and tight. I have had them roll down and fall down on me before. So what I'd like to do now is do a little bit in the arms. I had this kind of idea since I wasn't a fancy dancer at the start that arm stuff didn't matter because as a jingle just dancer, if you're not holding a fan because you're old style, I didn't think my arms were getting any sort of workout, but they were. They were. It actually takes quite a bit of work to be leaving your hands on your hips. Leaving your hands on your hips or even just holding up your hands as you're dancing like you do when you dance jingle. And as I'll show you with traditional, let's just do some little circles here. So as I'll show you with traditional, a little bit bigger, you're hanging on to a shawl, a fan. So also have to hold those up in the air. So let's go the other way, little circles. 2, 3, 4, bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, awesome. So I want to make sure you can see me here. I'm going to just tilt this down and hopefully it's not too far. You're seeing all my stuff on my, see my cookum scarves and my shawls, smudge box, my fan, my phone. Again, not a professional videographer, just somebody who is really passionate about powwow dance. All right. So I have no idea what this is called, but you're going to try to sit up as straight as you can, straighten out one of your legs, tuck the other one in, foot to thigh, grabbing those toes if you can, going as far, maybe even using the floor to support you if you can't. But I like to stay straight, facing straight forward. Ooh, giving it a little bend, like hooking the arm around that toe if you can. Reaching up so you really feel that stretch in the back. We've really got to take care of our backs when we're doing this. Awesome. So Go to the other side. I'm going to smudge the heck out of these otters and we are done. Oh yes. So facing forwards, using the hands on the ground. You could do a little twist if you want. I prefer facing forwards, hooking that hand around the toe, the foot, bending. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think what I want to do is just a little bit of back bend. So what you're going to do, you'll take your right around your right foot, around your left knee. So you're just kind of cross like this. Left arm, elbow, hooked around the knee. You're going to look backwards, look directly behind you. And this is a back bend. So looking as far behind you as you can, while keeping your torso facing straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Uncross slowly. We're going to take the left foot, hook it around the right knee. Make our right elbow, hook it around the left knee. Left arm behind us and looking straight back. Oh, yes, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's lots of different ways that you can stretch and warm up, but I definitely advise taking care of that core. If there's anything that you want to focus on for exercising, core, calves for all of the women's styles. Yeah, crunches, sit-ups, pelvic tilts, Superman's bear walks. If you don't know what those are, just look them up. There's lots of different things you can do to get warmed up. Go for a speed walk. Actually, you can't see my feet like that. Go for a nice power walk, which is easier on the joints than running. You can do jogging, running, marching on the spot. You could do a Zumba video. Yeah, and I have no music because sometimes before you hit that Powwow Arbor dance floor, no singers are singing. Sometimes there's just a little bit of a break. You can't, I don't know, maybe you can't hear them or something. Yeah, do a little Zumba, whatever you want to do to get your blood kind of flowing. So the first thing that I'm going to go through with you is to give you an intro. Again, this is just an intro to a couple steps from each style. I encourage you again to find a dancer, knowledge keeper, or elder who kind of specializes in the area of powwow or is dancing themselves. Offer them tobacco and ask for them to teach you. I know there are some people that do that, and they also use YouTube as well. I'm one of those people. I've had a few dancers I've offered tobacco to, and then I'll also consult YouTube just for more moves and things like that, or to keep myself motivated and inspired. So, I'll put on some, we'll see if we can get some music on here. But so for traditional today, as you saw on my coffee table earlier, I have a fan. So traditional dancers will typically have a shawl on their left arm from what I've seen, held about this far of a distance, so not too terribly far that it's like out and not right against, but like just a little bit out because you want to see the swaying of that fringe. And then we'll have a fan in the other hand, and I will show you that in a second. I'm just going to find a traditional song. So each style of dance typically has 2 songs that'll be sung at a powwow. Some of them have 3. Traditional is the one that I'm kind of the least knowledgeable on, but I do know there's a straight, and then there's a double beat. So I'll show you the foot slide for the double beat and just the really basic step for traditional. So let me find a song and tell you who sings it. who will also be credited in the description. I wasn't going to have music, which is hilarious. How are you going to dance without music? But I just thought you might not be able to hear me, but I've changed my mind. So let's put on a short song. So this is the Women's Northern Traditional 2018 Gathering of Nations Powwow. And what I understand is the difference between Northern and Southern is Southern does, they will bend as they walk. They'll bend as they walk, where Northern will stay straight up. So the most important part of this dance is, for all of them, but to keep a really straight back. Remember, looking proud, looking like a proud Indigenous woman or a two-spirit, female identifying, or however you identify. So straight back is super important, and the thing I love about traditional is how great this is. This is said to be the most graceful of all three of the women's styles. I'm gonna go real old school here. I got my phone with music and the laptop recording video. So like I said, I've seen the shawls go on the left arm. And you see how far I'm holding it from my body. And I'm doing my best to keep my arm still. So this fringe is just moving on its own. So like I had shared in a previous video, this dance comes from women being supportive of the warriors, the hunters that are out to war or who are out trying to catch food for the community. When they came back from their war parties, they would come and they dance in a circle and show like different moves that they do. You know, they get down on the ground, arrows, show themselves firing arrows and stuff. And the women would stand on the outside with the children and just do this. Just be bouncing. I'm trying to match the beat. The drum beat is the heartbeat of Mother Earth, of the people. They'd stand there, and again, when they started, they didn't use these. They had buckskin or high dresses that had fringe on the arms and on the bottom. Just a real basic tea dress. They would stand like this. And then came the shawl and the fans, and then they would start. So that's kind of the basic step for traditional. So if you don't have a shawl or a fan, I'll put this down over here. It is really good practice just to try to have your arms up. Because again, like I said earlier, pretending like you have a fan and a shawl, like I said earlier, this actually takes work to hold your arms up like this. By the end of my first summer, and I didn't even go to like a powwow every single weekend. By the end of my first summer, my arms, they toned up a bit. So what I've seen from traditional dancers, so I kind of practice this, holding both of these. And if you're doing this on the spot, so the important thing with traditional is to not raise the foot higher than the ankle. That's something I was taught by another dancer. So it looks like just walking, but you're actually moving, swinging with those knees. You're trying to use the power of your knees, your calves, and your thighs to really keep that fringe going. And so when the music stops, we stop. We have abs. So this is round dance, this one now. So in terms of footwork, just work on that basic, holding that fan, keeping your feet close together. Just work on this to start. Then lifting those feet eventually and walking. But this song, during this part, so in this one, we saw the quick step. Feet don't even look like they're leaving the ground. Keeping your feet close together. You're doing a round dance. So you're trying to move this left foot over. So you kind of lead with the left, and that right will come up right beside it. So you notice the whole time, trying to keep my arms up and my shawl up. I wanted you to be able to see as much as possible. And I'm going to do that favorite stretch of mine. I call this the windshield wiper. Just doing a little bit of that. So this dance, you only move forwards, sideways. You don't go backwards and you don't do spins because this is traditional. Alright, and nice press. Here we go. Alright. Well, there we go. This is a nice, slow, straight song. I showed you round dance. I showed you stationary. I just want to figure out if I want to use a shuttle or not. So if you're going to practice traditional, again, some traditional dancers, I'm just going to show you from the side. We'll just dance on the spot. And they will do this. I've seen some that well wave their fan on the downbeats. So they will do this. I've seen some do the half circle. So I'm going to move back. Traditionally, again, traditional dancers don't do that. So you can see my plume here. So there's a bounce. There's a bounce in my knees that is making that plume go up and down. So your routine will be basic for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want you to to do a half circle. So you stop here while waving your fan. Go back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the other side. Come back to the middle. Four steps forward. While holding onto your fan and your shawl. Bouncing for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then practicing your round dance. So that one, keeping those feet close together. That left leads and that right follows. And I invite you to do that for an entire circle and start over. There is another step. Windshield wipers again. It's quarantine right now. I'm not as active as I usually am. A little bit tighter. There is a double beat step. This is not a double beat song. I just want to show it to you. You can use it in traditional or fancy. So it's essentially right foot forward. Right foot goes to take a step, a little one, little step. Left will slide up. Left goes forward, right slides up. Right forward, left slides up. Left forward, right slides up. So I'll show it to you, 4 of those. A little bit more graceful than that. This is the dance that is supposed to be the most graceful and beautiful out of, if you remember, we got traditional, jingle, and fancy. So that's supposed to be our most graceful, beautiful, slow-moving dance. Now I'm going to show you a bit of jingle. I'll show you a few steps for that, show you a few steps for fancy, ask you some trivia questions, and then I'll let you get out of here. All right.